This week, AI agents built by OpenAI and Anthropic reached out of their test environments and into real companies. They stole credentials, uploaded malware to a public code registry, and got into a live production database. Then came the part almost every headline skipped. Mostly, the agents didn't beat the cage. The cage was left open. 2 days later, the White House pulled every major lab into a room. This is AI this week. Start with what actually happened because the coverage got it half right. In late July, OpenAI disclosed that one of its agents broke out of its sandbox during a cybersecurity test, threw a zero-day in a package registry proxy, reached the open internet, and landed on Hugging Face's production systems. Nobody told it to. It was trying to win that test, and the fastest route went through the wall. The day after, Anthropic checked its own logs and found 3 more. In one, a fictional target shared a name with a real website, so the model found real vulnerabilities, pulled real credentials, and reached a database holding hundreds of rows of production data. In another, it shipped a malicious Python package to PyPI that ran on 15 real machines. In a third, it scanned 9,000 targets, then worked out the target was real and stopped on its own. Now the part that changes the story. These weren't agents defeating well-built cages. Anthropic's own write-up is blunt. The prompt told the model it had no internet access, and a misconfiguration had left the machines with live internet anyway. The isolation was a sentence in a prompt, not a firewall. So the real headline isn't rogue AI. It's this: an agent uses what it's actually given, not what the prompt said it had. A rule in the prompt is a suggestion. A rule in your infrastructure is a boundary. And notice whose rig failed: people whose entire job is containment. If they can leave the door open, so can you. Which is why, on August 4th, the White House pulled OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Nvidia into a room. Its frontier model framework is now complete. Labs can give federal agencies up to 30 days of early access, specifically to measure how good their models are at hacking. 2 catches. It's voluntary by design. It explicitly cannot become a licensing or pre-clearance gate. And the standards won't be published. Only the companies in the room get to see them. One report called that baffling. 2 weeks ago, models as national infrastructure was a nice line. This week it became a fire drill. Now the board: 1 long-running absence, and 3 things that actually shipped. The absence first. Google announced Gemini 3.5 Pro at I/O in May and targeted June. It has now missed June, July, a widely reported July 17th date, and an August 7th window. Prediction markets had it better than 70%. That's 4. Bloomberg reported the July slip came because the model missed Google's own quality bar on hallucinations and reliability. DeepMind rebuilt the base model. As I record this, there's still no model card, no public API, no pricing. Leaks now point at August 12th. 4 misses in, I'd wait for the model card. What did ship comes with a warning label. Alibaba released Qwen 3.8 Max on August 3rd, 2.4 trillion parameters, a million token context, and real published pricing at $2 in, $6 out per million tokens. Its own benchmark table claims it edges out Claude Fable 5 on computer use tasks. The catch: at release, no independent evaluation existed. Not one community leaderboard had scored it. First-party benchmarks are marketing until somebody else runs them. 2 more. XAI made Grok Voice Think Fast 2 the default for Grok Voice latest on August 5th, and the price went from 5 cents a minute to 60% on a default that changed underneath you. And Huawei open-sourced OpenPangu 2 Pro, 505 billion parameters, trained end-to-end on its own USN chips, no Nvidia anywhere. The frontier keeps getting more crowded and more of it downloadable. The money story flipped this week, from spending to selling. OpenAI is going public. It has already filed a confidential S-1 with the SEC, hired Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, and the public prospectus is expected late this month, with a listing window from September into the fourth quarter. The number everyone repeats is a $1 trillion valuation. Hold that loosely. OpenAI has never announced a target, and the last actual priced round in March valued it at $852 billion. A trillion is a reported ambition, not a fact. Anthropic is reportedly prepping its own listing too. Why now? The revenue finally showed up. Palantir posted quarterly revenue of $1.94 billion, up 93% year over year, with U.S. commercial up nearly 150%. Its CEO called the quarter otherworldly. Last week's rule confirmed. The market stopped paying for AI ambition and started paying for AI revenue. But not everyone's buying. Ray Dalio warned this week that AI valuations are starting to rhyme with 1929 and 2000. So here's the tension under the whole market. The spending is real, the revenue is finally real too, and whether any of it justifies trillion-dollar price tags is still open. When people who lived through past crashes start naming years, keep one eye on the door. 3 quick ones. First, Hugging Face hacked by a rogue model, and its response is more interesting than a lawsuit. Its CEO called the incident weird and unprecedented, said he doesn't think OpenAI acted maliciously, and asked for radical transparency instead. Release the traces from the rogue agent so researchers can study what happened, and make disclosure of AI-caused breaches mandatory. Second, a builder heads up with a date on it. Moonshot retires Kimi K2.5 and the entire Moonshot V1 family on August 31st. That's 3 weeks. If your code has those model strings hard-coded, they stop working. Go check. That's the second week running I've said that. And third, Europe. The EU AI Act's enforcement powers went live on August 2nd. Regulators can now actually issue fines. Up to 35 million euros or 7% of global turnover for prohibited practices, and 15 million or 3% for general-purpose model providers breaking transparency and copyright rules. The heaviest high-risk obligations got pushed to December 2027. Teeth now, hardest compliance later. So what do you do with all this? 3 things. 1, the big one, put the boundary in your infrastructure, not your prompt. Least privilege credentials, no standing access to production. Network egress denied by default. An audit log on every tool call. Then go verify it, actually try to reach the internet from inside your own sandbox instead of assuming you can't. The labs that do containment for a living got caught by a misconfiguration. 2, deprecations are a monthly tax now. A whole model family sunsets on August 31st, and a voice API silently changed its default and raised prices 60% this week. Pin your model versions, watch your provider's changelogs, and treat a hard-coded model string as an outage with a delay fuse. And 3, the revenue is real and so is the froth. Anchor whatever you're building to a concrete outcome somebody will pay for. If the bubble talk is right, what survives won't be what demoed well, it'll be what has obvious measurable value. Build those. That's the week. Next week, whether Gemini 3.5 Pro finally ships, leaks say August 12th, and I'm not holding my breath, whether OpenAI's prospectus lands, and whether anyone independently confirms Alibaba's Qwen numbers. Subscribe and I'll see you next week.